Hey everybody, I just wanted to start getting ready to do my labor and delivery videos and everything. So I want to kind of pick up where I left off. Just a little information on Nate. He's doing really well. His stats have been really great. We've been able to hold him a couple of times. So things are really looking up, and we just thank God for that. But I just want to let you know what happened prior to me going into labor. Wednesday when we went to the doctor's, we had a non-stress test, and we had an ultrasound, and we had the appointment. We had the ultrasound first, and they grade the ultrasound on a scale of like 0 to 8, and it's based on like movement and practicing breathing and I don't know, some other things I can't really remember right now. But when we did the ultrasound, the doctor he wasn't hugely active, and I had noticed for like a couple weeks, maybe not even a couple weeks, maybe like a week and a half, that he just was not as active as normal. He was still active, and I still felt him a lot, but he was a very, very active baby. So what we did is the doctor, so he actually got a 4 out of 8 because and he also wasn't practicing his breathing like he had in the prior ultrasound. In the prior ultrasound, his little chest was going up and down. And so the doctor just wanted to redo the ultrasound that night after I'd gotten something to eat, because just to make sure everything was fine. And he said there was a possibility of being induced at that point if everything was not fine. I did talk to him about inducing because of insurance reasons. He said he could not do that until 39 weeks. And by 39 weeks, it would have already been past July 1st. So, whatever. So we kind of left the office there. The non-stress test was absolutely fine and normal. So we knew that there was not, a big issue with him or anything like that, because it came out fine. The doctor even said that. He said he just really wanted to make sure that the ultrasound, after 8, because I hadn't eaten anything in a couple hours, that he became more active. So we left the doctor's office because my appointments are always late, so they couldn't do the ultrasound there. He wanted me to go get something to eat and then go to the regular hospital part, the imaging and x-ray and all that, to go to that part for to have the ultrasound done. And we did, and everything was absolutely normal. He was moving around like crazy, and what she told us for the breathing portion of it is they were just looking for 30 seconds of practicing breathing during a 30-minute ultrasound. So we had to sit there for an entire 30 minutes, and he didn't ever practice the breathing or whatever. They did get it a little bit during the day, because they turn on the color so they can see, how they have like the little blue and red dots or whatever, to see that he was using his nose and everything. And they did get a little bit on the day ultrasound. What they were more concerned with the day ultrasound is the lack of movement. And the night ultrasound, it was just the opposite. He was moving all over the place and, not really practicing the breathing a lot. So they called the doctor. We sat there and waited. We really didn't know what he was going to say, whether he was going to say to induce me or not. I kind of got the feeling he wouldn't, because between the 2 ultrasounds, everything was fine. And that's exactly what he said. He said to go on and go home, and, they had scheduled an appointment for Friday for another ultrasound and another stress test, just to make sure that everything was still fine. And as we were sitting there waiting for the doctor, I was starting to get contractions that were a little bit different than what I'd had previously. They still, I think, were Braxton Hicks contractions, because they did eventually stop that night. But they were definitely more painful than what I had experienced before. What I had experienced before was more of a tightening of the uterus. And it wasn't real painful. I mean, it just felt like a muscle cramping. And so they were not even like, I hate to even say painful. They weren't painful, but they I could feel that they were headed that way, I guess. So we went home, everything was normal. We still figured we had a few days. And what I'll do next is go into my, how I went into labor, and then I'll do a separate labor and delivery video. So the next morning, which was Thursday the 23rd, my husband had called at 8:30, because that's his break. And he called. I was still in bed, and talked to him for a minute, and then hung up the phone with him. And I was just laying there thinking, I really need to get up. And then all of a sudden I felt a pop and a gush, and my water broke. It wasn't all of the water. I knew it wasn't all the water because I knew that they said I had a ton of water, and it was a good amount of water, but it was not everything. I knew that. So I immediately called my husband and told him to come home. He came home. We called the doctor. At this point, we hadn't even packed the hospital bag or anything. I know we talked about the night before how we really should get that done. But we're such slackers, I guess, that, you know, every time. And by that point, I was getting so tired and I was so sore and I just couldn't do anything. I didn't want to do anything. So we didn't have the hospital bag packed. We threw some clothes basically in a bag, you know, my pads and stuff, and my hairbrush, you know, we tried to just grab what we could remember to get, and we headed out to the hospital. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this now, and I will pick up from there. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.